Welcome everyone to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Ben. What's up, Ben?
Hello.
What's up, Scott?
Hey, y'all.
All right, so we got breaking news today. Ben, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I think so.
You want me to say it? All right, Linda Hamilton is going to reprise her role as Sarah Connor
Nice.
in the new Terminator movie.
I did not know that.
So that is breaking, brand spanking new news that
So that must take after Judgment Day.
just posted, all over the place. In a span of 5 minutes, probably, or 10 minutes.
Sweet.
Yeah, I know. So we got Arnold Schwarzenegger, we got her. Who else?
So does that mean Ron Perlman and her is going to be reprising their role as Beauty and the Beast in sometime in the future?
Ah! I was going to say Beauty and the East, but now you get no. No, I don't know.
That's on the Cooking Channel, everybody. Hey, Vaughn.
Right.
Hey.
Hey, Vaughn, guess what?
What?
Linda Hamilton's going to return as Sarah Connor.
Oh, yay.
So there's a chance this Terminator sequel won't suck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
nice.
see, James Cameron.
So maybe we can denounce Terminators 3 to Genesis and just count the first two in this new one.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think I said that's what they should do.
Yeah, that's what they need to do.
I've been hinting, yeah, it'd be wise to do that.
All right.
All right.
To do any more sequels, they need to do some that are away from the whole Sarah Connor and Terminator thing, maybe as other resistant parties.
Well, you know what I was thinking about?
Not going back in the past, but maybe within the thing. Like,
you know what I was thinking about? It seems to me that threes are in. I mean, if you think about it, Halloween, if they do a sequel to 2, it's technically Halloween 3 because we never got a Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
You could call it Halloween 3, Michael Myers Revenge, and then it would fit nice because then you could just, you know what I'm saying?
Because the original 3 was they really didn't have it.
Yeah, so we never had. And I was always against that because for some reason in all the horror movies, every horror icon, with the exception of Chucky, has been missing from one of their own movies.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
They always do that.
Friday the 13th Part 5 was some fake guy. A New Nightmare wasn't Freddy Krueger. It was a demon pretending to be Freddy Krueger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, Halloween 3, Season of Witch has nothing to do with Mike Myers. So, it would be really nice if they could call it Halloween 3. I know they're not going to do that, but people would not get confused because technically there is no Halloween 3 with Michael Myers.
No.
So call it Halloween 3, but it's something with Michael Myers inside.
The notion of the Halloween movies, the franchise in the first place. Every year or every other year, they put out a Halloween movie around that time, and whether it involved Myers or not, I still don't remember.
And with the Terminator, you know what? The hell with the nonsense. They do reboots all the time where they restart it. So why don't you restart it with 3? Call it Terminator 3 Apocalypse or Terminator 3 Aftermath or something and do it. Like, call it Terminator 3 because that's basically what it's going to be. It's going to be a sequel to 2.
And the fact that every time they travel back in time, it is something of a soft reboot as it is. So
Terminator 3, 2018, 2019. Big deal. Big deal. So I'm all for that. And then I'm thinking about the Beverly Hills Cop thing.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
3 was so effing bad that I would just erase that from history too.
Well, the fact they had to go with PG or PG-13 with that one, that's what really bombed it. If they kept it at R, they would have been all right.
I mean, we talked about this before, but do you know, like, we had a comment today that people actually thought that we don't know that Eddie Murphy's character, Axel Foley, is from Detroit? Of course we know that.
Everybody
We've seen the movie.
know that,
We know that. My whole point was, how could he be out of his element in his own hometown of Detroit in a movie? That makes no sense. I don't care if he's in Beverly Hills or whatever.
That was the whole point of him going to Beverly Hills, because the buddy of his from Detroit got in trouble.
Talk about the news unless we know what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, we watched the shit, basically. So,
Mhm.
and I'm not offending anybody. I'm just saying, like, I know people want to, like, be like, oh, well, I'm pointing this out to you, Matrix, but we saw it many a times. I went to see it in the theaters, Beverly Hills Cop, with my dad.
I did a double feature when that movie came out. I forget which one I saw first, whether it was RoboCop or Beverly Hills Cop 2, but that was my double night feature.
Yeah.
Like I said, I went to see that and RoboCop. And
look, where's RoboCop? Why aren't they making a sequel to that? I thought that did so well. I thought the new one did so well.
As the great Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park said, that's one big pile of shit.
Right. So again, we got something old is new again. We got these movies returning. That's making me feel very happy with the casting.
Dragon Slayer. Let's see him bring back Dragon Slayer or even Last Starfighter.
Last Starfighter, definitely.
Yes.
Because I've been dying for that.
Whether it's a reboot or an actual sequel, I'm sort of torn about. But still,
you know what? You would have to do a sequel. Do a sequel because it's years and years and years later.
Mm-hmm.
But excuse me, I'm yawning. My gosh, sorry about that. What other news? Do we have any other news? The Tomb Raider thing hit.
Yeah, I saw that. I was not that. I hope they got another video, another trailer, because that reminded me too much of a video game.
Yes,
I was not impressed by it.
Right, and then we got the trailer. Kid,
oh, I'm about to say I done played the game, so the movie. If the movie is just the video game, then I'm just gonna stick with the video game and be honest.
Yeah, same here.
We got an extended
because at least
trailer.
the Angelina Jolie versions, they didn't. It didn't have a video game-esque to it too much. But I hope this is just a sample trailer, and they put out an actual one here in the next 2 weeks. But it did. It just felt too much like a video game trailer.
Yeah, it's just a movie version of the video game. That's basically what it is. It's going to be talking about her time on that island and stuff like that. I'm like, okay.
We got an extended trailer of The Flash. The new season. We got to see Barry Allen with a mustache and whatever the hell. Oh, that's probably gonna be good, real good, I'm sure. That starts in October. So
God, everything starts in October.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's
I
really
can't believe.
ridiculous.
I mean, these months are passing so freaking fast that I can't believe in like what, a couple weeks it's gonna be October.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't understand why television shows are coming on in October now. Cause I remember a time when they came on in August.
I'll tell you why. Wanna know why? Because Marvel is having their thing with Inhumans, and DC is like, you know what? Let's let them bomb their ass out and then put their stuff out afterwards. And I think, look, here's the thing. You're not going to have DC and Marvel shows starting at the same time. So I understand that, the CW is like, let's just let them get this shit out, whatever, and let's just go. And I think that's smart because last year I think they started also in October. So I'm completely happy with it.
But it's not even them. It's other shows doing it too. I'm like, I remember a time when it started in September.
Oh yeah.
And then it went into
right after Labor Day. It started.
Yeah. It started and then went straight through until December. Then it took a break. Then it came back on January, and then did the sweet months.
They're trying to space it out where when the shows go on their mid-season.
Mm-hmm.
That there's actually other shows with new episodes out.
Yeah, they're doing that.
That's what they're doing, where you have something throughout the year, something. And it's not everybody takes a break at the same time and there's reruns. No, there will always be something on TV. So that's what they're doing with that. Which I think is smart because I remember when it was repeat, I was going crazy back in the day. I'm like, what the hell am I going to watch?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and just remember, we used to grow up with a three channel
Yeah,
TV.
wonderful choice.
So,
No, jeez.
and even then, a lot of the choices were a lot better than they had today.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Ah, why am I yawning? Jesus, yawning like crazy tonight. But what else do we have, guys? What was other stuff to talk about? Oh, the New Mutants movie is going to be called X-Men New Mutants.
Oh, that's
Boy, they sat at the
They
planning table
did.
for that for an hour.
They did some deep thinking on that one.
That's yeah. They're like, well, if we call it New Mutants, they won't know it's connected to the X-Men. So,
Oh,
just like the movie, just like the TV show Gifted. You see how in the trailer, like the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are like, what the F is Gifted? But honestly, people are like, what the F is Gifted? Seriously, that's a stupid ass title.
It is, really
because Mutant X got in trouble years ago for using the word mutants.
I gotta tell you, I don't know if Gifted is gonna be so gifted. I don't know if it's
that's what I'm praying.
I mean, Legion, but this shit, I don't know about
Gifted. I watched like a few seconds of the little trailer for it, and the girl was displaying her powers. It's like, I just waved my arm in the air and she made something, the vending machine just drop. I'm like, oh,
There's
great.
so much crap out there now that Marvel's actually putting out crap now. I mean, we got Cloak and Dagger, that's garbage. I don't even know if it aired yet.
Wait, Cloak and Dagger is now a TV series?
That's crap.
Yeah.
That trailer was crap. You didn't even know the trailer came out months ago?
No,
months ago.
I did not.
Months. And even the trailer for Runaways came out, and that was crap too.
Yeah,
and
that's
Power Pack is going to be a movie now. Power Pack.
Marvel, oh God, Marvel need to quit. I mean, come on, it's just too much of it.
It's going to be like Spy Kids Power Pack.
Wow.
That's what they're going to do.
And honestly, I didn't care too much about Spy Kids, to be honest with you. My brother liked it.
Oh, I loved the first Spy Kids. Then it got really stupid.
Yeah.
They're oversaturated now with superheroes, and I hate saying it. I don't know if it's going to be DC first or Marvel first to kill the franchise.
Listen, if they're going to put out shows with kids and they're going to put out every type of show you can think of, why don't they stop discriminating? Let's go and have a show called The Bingo Elite and have senior citizens that have powers kicking ass.
You talking about like Cocoon?
Kicking ass and playing bingo.
Like Cocoon? Sure.
What? Yeah.
Like Cocoon?
Yeah, but kicking ass. Wilfred Brimley sticking a broom up somebody's ass. No, I'm just kidding.
Now. We have to have a story about diabetes.
Diabetes. How great would that be? Marvel. Bingo Elite Squad or Bingo Squad. And just like, something happens, they're playing bingo, and everybody that's playing bingo gets superpowers through an accident in church.
You know what movie I really would like to see them redo is Batteries Not Included.
Yes. I could see them doing that.
Yes.
Because
Short Circuit. I want to see it.
Oh yeah, Short Circuit is really.
I want to see a sequel. You know what I didn't even notice?
Short Circuit 1.
I was on my cable stations, like looking through my files, and I'm like, when did Sony have a channel?
You didn't know Sony have a channel?
I didn't freaking know.
Stations suck too, like their movies.
I know, because you know what? I saw there was Godzilla on there. I'm like, oh shit, a channel actually has Godzilla shit on there. So I went to watch it. I'm like, why don't I have this if I'm spending like $220 a month? Why don't I have this channel? I have every HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, Stars. I mean, Jesus.
No, I got that whole thing.
Now why can't I get Sony? How much is Sony? That's why can't I get that? I want that now. Why can't I get that? They even have Short Circuit on.
You paying that much on there and you can't get it? Good grief.
Yeah, what the F, man? Jeez.
That's
they probably know it's a sucky channel. That's why they don't want to.
What's the horror thing? What's the horror channel that I don't even know about either?
The horror channel?
I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
What is it? Because I want to see if I have that too. If I don't have that too, I'm gonna flip out.
It's not.
I am spending a lot of money, and it's bullshit. And I don't even get these channels.
Well, I got crappy ones too, but they do give me something like El Rey and stuff like that.
What's it? What was it? It was the Rodriguez, right? Has it?
El Rey.
El Rey.
El Rey. Yeah, it's El Rey.
I want that then.
So that's his channel, and he shows some good movies. I mean, he shows some good classic stuff.
I want to see this old guy go boy, and I want to see like the. I want to see all this stuff. Phantasm movies. I'll forget it.
I mean, his channel is really good. I've seen a couple of what he been playing. He plays Godzilla movies on there too, but it's like it run the gamut of what he does.
But that's on the AMC. Never mind.
No, you talking about no, they ain't Chiller, is it?
Yeah, it's Chiller.
It's Chiller. Yeah, it's Chiller.
I have that.
Yeah.
But I want the El Rey.
There's some kind of horror channel, but I don't know if that's still on.
Yeah, every 4th of July, El Rey shows kaiju movies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want that.
And then
But
Tuesdays
you
are
should have
movies too.
I should, but I don't.
Yeah.
I have it.
Get some damn complaints, mothers.
Well, why should he? Why you should have El Rey? Because that should have been with the package.
Well,
Yeah.
I had. Here's the thing. I had the package years ago, so I have to re-sign, I guess. But you know, better believe I'll be re-signing. I want that stuff.
I mean, they can give you the Smithsonian Channel.
How's that?
God, you should have the Smithsonian Channel.
The hell is
that should be
that?
automatic.
That's it's history. It's Smithsonian Museum Channel.
Oh,
they do
Jesus.
history and stuff. Yeah.
I want that too.
Mikey B's watched it on YouTube.
He's watching us.
Yeah.
Hey, Mikey
he's on it.
B. Oh, we gotta get him in here. Wait, let's get him in here. Don't ask him about the Powerpuff Girls. You heard about that, Vaughn?
Yes, I heard.
Vaughn, you didn't hear about that?
Mm-mm.
All right, Vaughn, I'm gonna brace you for this, right? The SJWs have infected the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh God.
Because
like they
men suck,
sorry,
Vaughn. According to them, right? Men suck, men are evil, men are stupid. Well, you know what they did to I think his name is Professor Plutonium, right? Whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Professor
Yeah. You know what they
Plutonium.
said? You know what they said what he had? You're gonna flip. Ready?
What?
They said that he had a black African-American baby first that he made with sugar and spice and everything nice and without chemical X. It was a different type of chemical. And that her powers were out of control and she ran off.
Oh, obviously.
And he abandoned her and never went after her and was completely happy. And I was like, let me make more kids.
No.
So this is what they're doing.
Because her powers became unstable.
So basically, they are reconning what I grew up knowing about the Powerpuff Girls.
That he's a son of a bitch.
That he's a a-hole now.
Right, and now what's going to happen is there's going to be a movie that's multiple parts where they find out that that's their older sister called Bliss.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And let's get the picture again, guys.
Is it? I mean, oh, this is the new Powerpuff Girls because I don't consider them canon. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's canon. All right.
But no,
I don't consider. I don't care
canon.
if they do.
She ran away because her powers were unstable.
It's canon.
She goes to what
Yeah,
they call,
but they consider it canon. I don't. Anything with that new episode.
Oh, this shit's canon, all right, man.
And I was watching it, and the little girls sound like they're voiced by guys trying to do little girl voices.
It's not canon because they couldn't get the original Powerpuff Girls people to do it, so it's not canon to me.
Get the original. They refused to get the original.
Well,
there she is. This Bliss.
Yep.
This Bliss. Her hair is like her power or something.
I do not want to see this crap. I really don't.
The first black crime fighter, the Townsville.
She is not the. Never mind. I'm not even getting into the Powerpuff thing. They can whatever they want. They can consider it canon, but my personal belief, it's not canon.
And next week we get an Asian. No, I'm just kidding. I don't understand what they're doing.
So
I don't get it.
Do they drive their powers by cooking dogs?
What?
I mean, what is up with everybody trying to be so damn PC these days? It's a
Why are they
kids
making
show.
men? Why are they making men evil? Like, what the fuck, man? If he
Lifetime
abandoned
Channel
his
did it
kid,
first.
he would be a
All
son of a bitch.
men are not evil.
That's
They're
right.
claiming that he abandoned her. She flew off because her powers were too much.
But the point is he didn't go after her. There's been episodes of movies where he went after the girls looking for them. So it's like,
Yeah.
well, I don't like that kid, fuck her. Like that's like, wow. And he's been happy in other episodes. He's dancing and shit. I got my girls back. But what about her, man?
This
What are
is
you
the
trying to say? A white guy doesn't give a crap about his African-American kid. That's crazy.
That's BS, man.
And then
But
they
you
all
know what?
smile and shit about that.
It's just, I mean, it's the new Powerpuff Girls thing. I
I don't know what the fuck that is.
I don't
They
know.
had them in school for a time, and now they realized the school thing probably didn't work out, so they're trying to turn them back into superheroes.
I don't know what they did.
I don't
know.
even follow it no more. Like, I don't even follow Ben 10 no more because, or Teen Titans Go.
Oh, I never watched. I watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes of the Teen Titans Go. That thing was so shitty, I could not even watch it.
God
Yeah. What's up?
God damn, I heard they're making like a fucking baboon Powerpuff Girl. Is that what you're saying?
Jesus.
Voiced by Leslie Jones.
No. That's terrible.
What? Well, we were
God.
just talking about how people are too PC.
They are PC, though. They are PC.
It's a joke, by the way, yes.
I know, yes. That's crazy. I don't, dude, the professor's, they're hating on men again. What's going on?
Professor, what?
The professor,
Yeah.
did you hear the story?
Professor Utonium.
No.
Hating on men because he's probably secretly
Okay.
a lesbian.
All right. In case you didn't know,
I just to let you know, I only like saw like the last 5 or 6 minutes of the cast. I was going through my Apple TV and it said you were on live, so I went on there
Okay.
and I said to Scott, I said, tell Joe to send me a link.
Yeah. I did, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are you're talking about SJWs and like political correctness. I gotta come on.
Well, here's what happened. If you remember, I don't know, maybe we've seen it in a commercial for a second or not. There was a show called Powerpuff Girls where it was, the animated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a grown adult. I don't watch this shit.
No, I know that, but basically, was it Professor
Professor
Plutonium.
Plutonium.
with sugar, spice, and everything nice and Chemical X made these 3 girls at powers, right? So,
God, yeah.
right. So now what they're doing is the SJWs have invaded the cartoons now.
Yeah.
And what they said was that a white professor created an African-American child before he created those 3 white kids. And that he abandoned that kid because that kid's powers are out of control. Effer never went after her. Doesn't even fucking acknowledge her existence.
Yeah. So you're telling me this is a black kid who doesn't know who her daddy is? Imagine that.
Right. No, but wait. And they're making it that he's stupid. He's a male. He's not a real. He's a horrible dad.
He's a white guy.
Right. And they're just. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's like you ruined the whole point of it being a cartoon. Like,
Well, I mean, I'm a white guy like him. I mean, we're stupid, obviously.
Yeah.
and then she comes back, and it's like she's the older sister. She's Bliss, and her hair, and she's friends with the villain, and whatever.
It's called Burpook Island. Come on, folks. He lives there.
I don't know. There's one place I don't. Listen, the one place you don't go. I understand the SJWs are trying to change everything, but cartoons now, really? Come on, that I draw the line, man. That's ridiculous.
Well, I think they're gonna like ghetto up Sesame Street, make Big Bird black too.
Oh God, help me.
I think they may invade Sesame Street. Honestly,
Yeah, they probably is. It's going to happen sooner or later.
I think so.
Look at Snuffy. Maybe that's their first pet.
Maybe they'll make a North Korean character lovable.
Today's word is bigger.
Austin Grouch. There we go.
Rocket Man, they'll make. Rocket Man on Sesame Street.
Mm.
Oh, that was great. I love that Rocket Man.
Yes.
Traffic is a nightmare in the city. You can't move anywhere because they're doing the thing. And he calls Kim Jong-un fucking Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
It's the fucking UN. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm the president. This motherfucker's Rocket Man.
I think it's great. I love seeing Trump. I think he's a total buffoon, but I love seeing Trump just throwing shit at people.
And then they zoom in on the people in the UN. The guys like this. Oh!
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
And they're like, shut him up. Shut him up. Oh my God, this missile's gonna hit. It's like, oh shit.
And DeFranco says you don't know if he's having a headache or from what Trump said.
The guy was having a heart attack. He's like, oh my God, we're gonna get bombed. Go fucking rock.
Getting back to the topic, they're starting these kids at a young age now to indoctrinate them with this like radicalized like SJW thing.
Yes.
Like to me, I know most people who know me for years that I've been on here off and on. I totally goof on everything, including myself.
Oh, yes.
Any of the shit I say, it's not meant to be taken, like, seriously. Like, I say shit that can be construed as triggering people, like, racist or this or that or whatever. Right. It's like a comedian would joke around about stuff, because if you truly have a dislike of someone because of their sexual identity or their racial identity or who they are or whatnot, I mean, that's pretty fucked up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's this atmosphere where people... They're afraid to like joke around. Like Jerry Seinfeld won't even do comedy shows at colleges anymore because of like the SJWs. And people, like, can you imagine George Carlin saying the shit that he was saying like today?
Oh, he wouldn't give a fuck.
Oh, yeah. He wouldn't care.
He wouldn't give a fuck.
2 out 5 days before he even came on.
He wouldn't give a fuck. I went to see him in the Beacon Theater. He's like one of the greatest comedians of all time.
And I'm one of those people. I really, truly... the problem, and getting serious for a moment, the problem that I see going on today is that the reason I can't stand the SJWs is that they're shutting down lines of communication, and they're shutting down intellectual discourse. And when you know, we live in America. We're all brothers and sisters in America. You know, we all are a big family in this country. We can disagree about shit without getting violent and spitting on each other. And, you know, being complete assholes to each other, like to protest things. Because, I mean,
yes.
the First Amendment is there to protect unpopular speech. I don't like the KKK, and I'm not making a reference to a political party. I'm just using them as a group. I'm just saying in and of themselves. The KKK, obviously, you know, they got some issues. But they have a right to go out and speak their nonsense and say their shit if they want. Because that's what the First Amendment's about. And they should be allowed to do that. Just like the radicalized left should be allowed to do their thing, or the radicalized right, whatever you want to do. But why don't we debate ideas and debate facts instead of just name-calling each other and putting people a label on them and saying that they're a fascist.
Or a Nazi.
Yeah, or yelling people down saying that love trumps hate while they're hating on the person they're talking to. It's really, and I see a lot of it, and I'll say it again, I'm not politically leaning towards like Democrat or Republican. I never have. I can be considered an independent, and I will not take a party line stance because I think that when you start to affiliate with something 100%, you're not engaging your head because, you know, it's like saying somebody's 100% correct all the time. And, you know, I know myself I'm not 100% correct all the time, so I'm not going to affiliate with other people that I know without a doubt are not 100% correct.
Right. There may be a time we like a Democrat or this, or a Republican, whatever. We just vote whatever.
His little comment during a game, and he's getting knocked for it, but I forget who the other guy was. DeFranco was talking about that yesterday or today. He uses it as often as taking a breath, and nobody calls him on it.
Listen, the Black Lives Matter movement also had basically destroyed like Martin Luther King's legacy. I mean. Yeah. It's fight first and then don't even talk later. It's like weird.
They became pretty much the Black Panthers of the day.
I mean, everybody, they're kind of making, with all this movement, the SJWs, they're making people, college kids are becoming stupid. Like thinking and believing the shit that's shoveled to them by these radically crazy professors that they want to do stupid ass shit on no white day in college and all this other crap.
Well, they're
going
teaching
on.
people. They're teaching people to be reactionary and to be part of a hive mindset. They're like the Borg. You know, they assimilate people. And I've seen videos, and they're fucking fantastic. Go on YouTube and check out, like, just pull up like protest, and if you watch these people, you'll for example see. Now I lean more socially left because I'm more, you know, progressive minded.
You use your brain, unlike these individuals.
Yeah, and I would never call myself, you know, a Democrat or you know, conservative or liberal or this or that or whatever, because I even believe that when people identify as conservative, what exactly are they conserving when they've like increased the size of government tenfold? So they're not really conservative. So I just like to call bullshit where I see it with things, and I like to be as fair as can be. I don't like to have my views slanted towards one side or the other with things. But you'll see these people, I keep watching these videos where these people that claim to be so tolerant are the very ones who are being intolerant of the other side, when the other side's just like having a, whatever, like a support Trump.
They're just standing there being peaceful, and the ones who are being the most destructive are the ones that are saying you're being Nazis.
Yeah. You know, the Emmys?
They're the ones building the wall around the people who are trying to interview them from, like, maybe conservative media outlets like Fox or whatever. And I hate Fox.
Yeah,
it's probably
here.
Most people do.
But you know, we've gotten to where we have networks now that instead of having, like, when I was growing up, like, years ago, Walter Cronkite, you know, you had these people that would go out there. There was no side to facts. It was just like, here's the news, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
But now what they've done is they've been able to cater specific groups where if you want to self-identify as one political party or another, you can pick the set of facts that best suits what you want things to be.
Well, look what they said. Look at what the one president said about Walter Cronkite and the Vietnam War. The fact that now he's pretty much against it. It must not be. I'm paraphrasing here, I know, but he even when Cronkite even spoke out against the Vietnam War, he knew that president knew. Well, it's over.
Just think about the Emmys. The Emmys, when they were bashing Trump, got the worst ratings for the Emmys in history. The worst ratings for the Emmys in history. Just like the last award show, the MTV was the worst ratings in history.
On a board saying they go political, they're going to destroy themselves.
I'm kind of proud of the fact that I'd only heard of like maybe 2 shows, like about 2 hours of watching that. It was like the night of, don't know what the fuck that is.
On HBO?
Yeah, I mean, I knew Handmaid's Tale was because I'm familiar with the book, which is very telling. It's one of those like 1984 and Animal Farm and stuff.
Okay.
And it's about how women have been relegated to being basically like objects of ownership, where like they're used as like breeding material for kids, and you know. But I've heard of Handmaid's Tale, but the other stuff that was up for winning awards, I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, who watches this shit? What is this?
Game of Thrones wasn't even a part of that this year, I guess.
Jeez.
Weird.
I've heard of the talk shows though, and it's funny that and we touched upon this the other night, Vaughn. You know, the 3 of us were in here is the reason why I'm saying you specifically. I don't know if you saw that cast, but we were making a point about the fact that these people complain about Trump, and yet they're making their name for themselves now. And like Stephen Colbert, I watch his monologues, and I think he's funny and stuff, but they should be thanking, and in fact they did so. They were thanking Trump at the end for like basically giving them material. They were tanking before Trump came along and shot some rejuvenation back into that show. And, you know, with Sean Spicer and Trump being, you know...
We got Sean Spicer on the friggin' Emmys.
Oh, yeah, I saw
Oh, wow.
He came out with his podium.
Melissa McCarthy was looking at like, oh, shit.
Well, Colbert even referred to the real Sean Spicer as, after he did his little bit, Colbert goes, all right, everyone, it's Melissa McCarthy, thanks, you know, to her, like, calling Spicer. And so, I don't think she liked the fact that he can kind of take the piss out of himself.
Yeah.
And I think there might be some bitterness there that they don't like it when the subject of their ridicule actually has a sense of humor about it.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? All right, you can't beat him, join him, fuck it. And just like they were like, she was pissed. She looked like she was genuinely pissed when she saw that.
Yeah. She definitely had a strange reaction to things.
Not friggin' happy at all.
Actually, that's how we all feel about the Ghostbusters movie.
Well, I guess she took time from her immunization powwow to come on the Emmy.
She's making Santa Claus a woman, so that's our next.
Oh, jeez. See, here's the question that I want to pose: is when is there should be a line drawn on SJW? When you just when can somebody tell you
everything that's
to stop?
an SJW related thing gets canceled, or bombs at the box office, or comics get canceled, that's when finally, before the company goes under, they will stop it.
This is absolute proof that they knew, or they were hoping Hillary would become president. Because the fact that all this stuff started coming out. Yeah, this is
The blame game book.
Sandra's a huge Hillary supporter. That's why I'm laughing. I just remember that night she went to bed and she was like, "Yeah, screw Trump. We're gonna." Yeah,
and then Trump screwed her.
I stayed up that night. I'm like, man, she's gonna be pissed tomorrow.
Well, Hillary didn't even come out. She's like, "Fuck it, I'm getting drunk."
No, she didn't. Yeah.
I'm getting drunk. I ain't gonna go fuck my people. Fuck.
I've been ragging on.
I didn't know she swung that way.
I've been ragging on Sandra because she keeps talking about getting Hillary's book, What Happened, and I'm like, I'll save you the money from buying it. I'll tell you what happened. Boss, bitch, go away. And I mean, I'm like, why is Hillary even still talking? I mean,
she wants to make money.
Because Bill hasn't gotten time around to sticking something in her mouth. All right,
they'll do a soundbite. They're like, "Oh my God, is she going to contest the election? The election's freaking over. How many months already?"
I think Bill feels he's married to the woman.
Oh, jeez.
I feel your pain.
This is why I play around with other women.
Now, Bill,
Hillary.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Clinton.
Yeah.
I think she's. Well, I mean, we're getting off. I was gonna. We're going to left field, but I'm not even convinced that her and Bill even have a real marriage. I mean,
No.
I just think
it's marriage by convenience.
Convenience, yeah.
Well, because it goes on out in Hollywood, where they got some of these. They got some of these male celebrities, for example, that are really closeted gay. And it's but they won't come out because they're afraid it's going to hurt their career or whatever, being a leading man. So they have a fake wife, Nicole Kidman. But
Wow.
You're not talking about that fudge packer, are you?
But I would want to say something. I would like to think that at one point before all this madness and all the presidents and Hillary turning into wherever she's turning into now, they probably truly loved each other, but as time went on, they just got separate paths and separate ways, and
the only reason they're divorced is because the money would be a disaster being chopped up in pieces, and she wouldn't be able to have her lifestyle.
Politics. He got into it. She felt the power, and then after he was president, she thought,
he could just be there. That's all. She could do her thing.
So I'm going to slowly slide into there, and boom.
Yeah, but this goes back to when Bill was governor. I think that she rode his coattails. And I think of the two, she's the smarter of the two by far. Right. And I think she used Bill in the position as governor of Arkansas to make deals and kind of network and put herself in a position to where she could springboard from that. Which is smart for any politician to do. But I think, and I mean, whatever. I mean, maybe I'm an asshole for theorizing about people's marriage because obviously I don't know them intimately on any level, but. With what I do with investigation work and stuff, you kind of look at the details and kind of put together what appears to be what's going on, and there's a difference between having proof and just making an assertion, but I think it seems pretty obvious what's going on with the two of them.
Yeah, it's just a marriage of
they're in separate bedrooms too many times, and
but you know, we can say what we want about Hillary. She done came a long way, because I never had pictured her going as far as she did.
Well, I have news for you. I have a feeling she's going to run again.
It's probably.
I'm hearing rumblings, but you know what? If I was the Democratic Party, I would say no.
Oh, I'd be distancing.
I would say
from
absolutely
her,
not.
But and like I said,
Don't forget,
go ahead.
Bill came a long way too, across Monica Lewinsky's blue dress. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
that's true.
Giggity.
Damn.
I didn't have much relations with her, but my
I didn't mean to write that on your dress. Let me use this whiteout.
Damn.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a hilarious spoof of Bill Clinton that Quagmire does. Where I did it.
All right.
I think we need a ticket with Chris Hardwick on it. You know.
Yeah.
You know. Because that little asshole loves to go on and like talk forever on those little shows. He could be like the next White House press secretary, you know?
Probably.
You know what?
And we're talking about Chris Hardwick because he called this whole asshole. So
yeah,
he's an asshole too. That's why we don't know.
I can't do a cast without calling out Chris Hardwick and talking about what a little cunt he is. I detest that guy.
Especially since he called all Doctor Who fans that are against a female doctor assholes.
Yeah.
And
you know, Peter Capaldi wasn't for that either. When he saw that shit, he was like,
he did a great comeback on him too.
Yes.
I don't know how old Chris Hardwick is, but like we said the other night, you know, I was like 10. I was 10 years old when I started watching Doctor Who, like in '84.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not even sure if he was like a bad sperm in his dad's nutsack.
I don't even think he existed, honestly. Probably wasn't even a thought.
He's just such a tool. I mean, that's like the definition of a tool.
I finally figured out Chris Hardwick was actually the sperm of black tar heroin. That's got to be it.
Jeez.
Oh, God.
Please, I just love
he was pooping in his pants when I was watching like Return of the Jedi.
He
wasn't even born, was he?
Somebody Google when he was born, just so
that's what I'm gonna
do.
All right,
I'd rather be standing on solid ground when I start like trashing the shit out of Chris Hardwick. Because I mean,
Hardwick was born November 23rd, 1971.
Oh, he's old.
Yeah, well.
Okay, well.
Really?
45 years old.
He's older than me.
Dang.
I was still living in Fairview Heights at the time.
I wasn't even alive.
He was in the Lego Batman movie.
He was fucking born before us.
But still don't excuse the fact that he tried to suck up to everybody, and it's just.
I don't believe. Vaughn, do you believe that he's been watching that show?
No.
I was 4 years old.
No fucking way.
No. He can't even name all the doctors, so no, he has not.
Exactly. He can't.
He can't.
Yeah, there's Doctor Strange. Doc Savage is one of the doctors too.
Real good.
Dr.
Dre.
Yeah, I'm sure Chris Hardwick's listening.
First number is Dr. Dre.
But
he owns the Nerdist, but he's never on the Nerdist.
Yeah, but he's a fake nerd, though. He's one of those hipster guys that's seen like a demographic that they're going to like cater to. And
he's the guy that like beat up on the nerds, and then it's like, oh, I can make money off this.
I'm not sure. I don't believe Chris Hardwick beat anybody up.
He don't beat himself. Come on.
Wow.
No, he seems to me like he was like a little scrawny, smart ass like kid that was always like, you know, the douche that everyone wanted to punch. But he wasn't a legit like nerd.
Picking back the wedgies and swirlies.
I mean, I don't know. I would hope that Chris watches your cast, Joe, because all the love we're giving him, I'm sure he'd love it.
Well, we already busted on him because he called us all assholes. So obviously,
we calling it like it's see it, you know. I mean, his shit stinks. I mean, you don't. Here's
Damn.
the thing. Here's the
Really
thing.
stinks.
Here's the thing. The fact that you go and you have a group of people that come to see Peter and them, and then you have to have decorum when you do being a moderator. You
Yeah.
have to have some tactfulness. You can't go in there. You don't know who in the audience views are different opposed
Yes.
to yours.
Yeah, he's not like Howard Stern, where you're walking in there knowing what you're
Yeah.
going to get with somebody being un-PC.
Exactly. But he did not respect the crowd. Basically, it could have been a bunch of people who didn't disagree with the choice and could have had some very damn good reasons. It's not always they are sexist or misogynist. It could have been because she was just a bad choice, and
Yeah.
they fully understand, the bigger picture of this choice.
They don't
But
need to have him host everything.
Yeah.
They should have got somebody else on the Doctor Who panel that
Definitely.
actually fucking watches the show religiously.
Nathan Fillion was really good at one of the panels they did. He is a really good moderator. I wouldn't mind seeing him bad moderate. But Chris, he don't know how to work the crowd, and he don't know how to moderate, and he didn't have no
flows
Well,
tact.
Capaldi called him out. I was glad Capaldi called him out. Because Capaldi's like, nah, you just bash the fans. I'm going to embarrass your ass. And he says, yeah, didn't you do this speech for me 4 years ago? The exact same speech. You can't write a new speech. And he's like, well, it fits the subject. Yeah, this
if you can't rewrite something, if you got to rehash the same speech,
come on.
It tells me your head's up your ass.
I'll tell you what that tells me is that Capaldi, as we know, was pushed out and there was politics involved.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of passive aggressive way of kind of putting it out there without really having to put it out there to push back on that to Hardwick.
That's why he changed his mind about the new Doctor and staying on Doctor.
Yeah, did you hear about that, Mike? That he said he feels that the Doctor should not be once they're done should be over with. And I'm thinking he's gonna
oh yeah, he's not gonna do anything
special. He's not gonna do it. Yeah, he's not doing anything.
No multi-Doctor story. I'm done with Doctor Who forever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
wow.
Chris Eccleston might have been onto something a while back with the way that they handle things with the BBC.
Exactly.
They set up a whole agenda, and I think what they're doing is they're using the fan base as like a boat to like just occupy, like they're riding it into a political agenda. And from what I've heard about the BBC, they're really bad about that kind of shit, trying to like push that stuff. From some of our friends that live in the UK, they said the same sort of thing. But it just seems like they have no vested interest in the show as much as they've been pushing the politics. And I think that they're like look what they've done with radio, like in the US, where they like homogenized everything to where you hear the same like 3 songs by like any artist.
Oh my God, yes.
And go ahead.
No, I was saying I got a buddy, Paul DeMarco. He does this thing over on TV Live. I know I'm pushing something, but this is good. It's called Totally 70s, and if you ever look at his way he's got his room set up, it looks like an old time radio station. You got 2 record players, play albums. You got the deck, and you got means of playing CDs. And he very rarely plays files. And you got you got his brother-in-law Retro, who also does the same thing, but he plays more of the file type of setup. But it looks awesome, and he plays the old way in which radio stations used to be.
Well, if people like music, like I remember growing up listening to Casey Kasem, Top 40 on the weekend and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I heard, like, doesn't Ryan Seacrest do that now, or a version?
Yeah.
They can even do 40 songs now because it's all like weird like techno shit going on. I mean, it's not like songs, that have something to them. It's like all processed by like a committee that write these songs for like these people like Katy Perry, and they're just all a corporation, and they churn this shit out, and it's all like just like cardboard cookie cutter shit.
It doesn't. I mean, this might be off topic, but it might be on topic. I don't know. But it just feels to me that they like back in the day, you didn't have no time length for the song. I mean, and then you had people that actually could put lyrics in, like even with rap music today, it's called rhyme and poetry.
Right.
They had a message, to share with the people. It was just like, and then you had stage presence. You have actual people who actually can go on stage and perform. I mean, they had to be really good at performing, like Jackson 5, Casey and Sunshine, Earth, Wind and Fire, all had that. But now you have, you don't have that creativity no more.
Katy Perry and Taylor Swift fucking having a bitch fight, and making songs about each other. That it's like, who gives a fuck? But it's like, I mean, I do like. Actually, I do like Taylor Swift.
And then you get somebody like Miley Syphilis who has to. To put on a damn wrecking ball.
No, but Katy Perry looks like Miley Cyrus, and Miley Cyrus looks like, it's like ridiculous.
I don't remember seeing Carly Simon back in the late '70s twerking like.
Oh no!
Or even Blondie.
You had a generation where there was class involved, and that's what people are like. You don't have stage presence no more. You don't have you don't even have big bands like Blood, Sweat and Tears, Earth, Wind and Fire, and them. They all had big bands backing them. You don't even have that no more. I mean,
what's been like a negative contribution to this too has been like over a decade now of these like reality show musical karaoke contests, and those people, that's proof that it's just like they want a face that they can like use to market stuff. And I mean, let me ask you, if you had people like Tom Petty on American Idol, do you think he would have had a chance? And Tom Petty's like great songwriter, great music for decades. He wouldn't have had a chance. Or Steely Dan. Those two guys that would have or something.
When he came back, he would try to shoot for the YouTube or the download section. And I only know he put like maybe 2 songs out, and then he's gone.
And speaking of Steely Dan, real quick, Mike. Walter Becker passed away from that group.
Yeah, I heard that a week or so ago. Yeah. Donald Fagen does great solo work too.
Yeah, he does.
And
go ahead, Mike.
Well, the thing about Steely Dan too that's funny is the band, Scott probably knows this, being a music aficionado like myself, named after a sex object, right?
Yeah, it was in a book called Dirty Lunch or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like people like Rod Stewart now and Phil Collins and those people, they're pushed to having to do like schmaltzy, lovey type music. I mean, Rod Stewart stuff, I loved him up until like around maybe even some of this, like I love Downtown Train. I think it's great stuff. Tom Waits wrote that, but you know, like they used to do real good.
Phil Collins went through a massive. He was only becoming deaf. Like he had a lot of medical problems, where he couldn't even hear what he was doing.
Wow.
He had like a massive, I mean, I don't know if they fixed the problem, but he tried to do a comeback. I think it was a couple of years ago. He was on one of the late night shows. And, you know, I felt bad because you could tell it's not the same, you know.
Look at Bryan Adams. Somebody even commented about him. He said that before Celine Dion came out, he put out all these rock songs. But then when Celine Dion and the likes of them come out, then he has to he had to change his musical tune to the same crap she does.
But look at Aerosmith, you know, when they put out that song for Armageddon, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like,
God, man.
I didn't want to miss the thing, and it sounded like Celine Dion like wrote that or something.
I mean, Metallica had stuff like with an orchestra, and you know, stuff got weird.
Well, experimenting, like, you know, I can see that they're artists. They're going to do different things and stuff. But, I mean, like, people like Ann and Nancy Wilson and Hart, they're not going to put out a rap album, I don't believe. But it's like, but some of the people kind of sell out. I mean, Phil Collins, I love his stuff from the early 80s, you know, In the Air Tonight.
Genesis,
You know,
I like some of his older work with Genesis. The album right after Peter Gabriel left, that his first solo album with them is magnificent.
Well, like Abacab, Duke, and the self-titled Genesis that's got Taking It All Too Hard on it, and Invisible Touch was great. I remember that like in 6th grade when they came out. And Sting when he was with the Police, and even his early stuff with Dream of the Blue Turtles, that album. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff that's even undiscovered that you don't hear on the radio. They only play like the same 3 songs.
Yeah, that's the problem I've had with radio stations for a lot. And the saddest thing is this is what I've said a dozen times. When we were young, an artist could put out an album with 12 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And you may find 3 songs that were bad. Today, an artist puts out an album with 12 songs. You're lucky to find 3 songs that are good.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you with stuff, definitely.
And also, they used to do long form, like the 12-inch records. That was phenomenal when you didn't have a time limit for the music. I mean, some of the best work was on those 12-inch records that was played.
Well, when you had like Pink Floyd The Wall, you had a whole concept. So even if you had songs that would never be radio friendly, they still were part of the whole concept of what the whole album was about. But you even still had songs like, Another Brick in the Wall or
Rain, about a few months ago, a gal who I listened to on iVlog, she's got this thing called Album Night on Saturdays. You pick the artist, she picks the album. She played that album all the way through one night, and it was like, man, I didn't even know a lot of these songs were even on this, or I'd forgotten they were on it.
Do anybody do concept albums anymore?
Maybe special ones every now and then, but
I'll tell you what I've been enjoying going back to is going back to like artists like ELO.
Oh
and like Alan Parsons Project, Atlanta Rhythm Section, Toto. A lot of these.
Oh yes.
And there's so many good tracks that are on those albums that like they never. It's because at the time the corporations, they were pushing for like singles to be on the top 40 lists. So they would just like it was all a political thing. But I mean, a lot of the music that's on there is as good, if not better, than the stuff that they just churned out and threw out there. Like I really don't need to hear Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison anymore.
Oh my God, they spam that a lot, and his whole album is Moondance is really good. There's so many good tracks on there that could be played, but Brown Eyed Girl, Moondance actually is spammed too down here for some reason.
Well, and Moody Blues, they did concept albums, and you might there's Nights in White Satin they'll play on the radio. You'll hear that, and you'll hear like. I Know You're Out There Somewhere and In Your Wildest Dreams. Those are like the only 3 songs out of like 3 decades worth of stuff they put out.
That's another problem I have with a lot of the radio stations, which is why I don't even listen to terrestrial anymore. Which, by the way, terrestrial is going downhill. But the problem I had with terrestrial radios, they treat an artist who's been around for decades, like we've been saying, so they've only done 3 songs. And then they spam those 3 songs to when you even hear them, it's like, okay, I don't want to hear them anymore. It's like it's like during the holidays when the department store will play holiday music 24/7, and after the first hour of hearing how Santa Claus came to town and Rudolph Saved Christmas within an hour, you really want to shoot the speaker.
Yeah, before I canceled Sirius, they actually had a holiday every year. They would do like they would put one of their stations as like a holiday music station, and they would actually play really cool stuff where they would have like Tom Jones and like Cyndi Lauper do like The Night Before Christmas or something, and it would be like a staple of like a Christmas song that we've heard. But different artists are doing it in their own way, and they would have like Dee Snider from Twisted Sister do like a song, and you would have like like the Fat Boys did like a goofy the Christmas song.
Yeah,
you got Christmas in Hollis and all that, and it wasn't the same like played out tired ass Bing Crosby bullshit.
Oh jeez, man.
And if I got to hear like Sweet Emotion or Dream On by Aerosmith,
I love those too, but it's just like, come on, they did more than those just 3 songs.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, I always wonder, do they just they have with the file system, they just hit random and just have it shuffle
They
through
don't
the
put any effort
playlist.
into it. They don't put like they don't have the freedom to put what the hell they want on.
It's
It's like, oh, we can't have a song that's never been played before on that album.
It's because of like companies like Clear Channel that have like monopolized the music stations now, to where they homogenize everything, to where they have playlists that are like approved before they're allowed to play stuff.
That's ridiculous.
That's just insane.
Ridiculous.
People started catching on to that. A lot of times these stations are actually being channeled from another source, another place. And when people would call in to make a request and they couldn't get through, people would start getting suspicious. Or when they call in to try to do a contest and they hardly ever get through, they get suspicious. That's why they have to start having stations set up. And because I tout this one station called this oldie station called the Hawk when I first moved back to Oklahoma. The great thing about it is they literally said they touted 2 commercial breaks, then they get back to the music. And yes, they played a lot of the stuff repeatedly, but still, it was a great channel. And then we had KMOD, and we had Phil and Brent. Sadly, one of the guys passed away because we had taken his life. And Phil and Brent are famous for William Mercer.
He probably got tired of listening to Dream On like for like the millionth time.
They terminated their contract. And they brought on these guys who I heard on another station who talked and talked and talked and talked for the duration of their
I hate that
time.
crap. When I'm trying to
if I'm going to push a radio program that's going to be all talk, it better be talk radio.
Right.
Well, Joe made a good point.
An occasional yak between songs, but when it's like 6 hours of funny.
Right. I mean, like I want to put on the music, and there's no music in the morning because they're all talking about what they did last night. And it's like you're forced into the routine of listening to this because they don't play anything in the morning.
And it's all like Shuckster, like Zoo Crew personalities.
100, like they have like their, what's his name? Kid Kelly. Who's the other guy? God, I don't even remember.
But that's what made the Zoo
play their music.
Friday.
They're gonna talk all the way up to like when the lyrics start in the song.
Right.
And they try and like impress people by like, hey, look how cool I am. Like I know exactly when to stop talking and fit it in like in the exact amount of space before the singing actually starts. Joe made a good point a few weeks back on a cast about the music, like for example, like Vaughn said, Casey and the Sunshine Band. You had people like the music that was being played brought people together from like different cultural backgrounds.
Yeah.
It wasn't like white people or just black people that listened to like a particular sort of thing. And
we had Spanish people, we had blacks, we had everybody dancing together. There was no racism. There wasn't none of that shit that they created now on the media. I mean, everybody was just. Do you think everybody was like, oh my God, you're black? Oh my God, you this? No, they were just chilling together. It was normal. It was natural.
Yeah.
I looked at the other day. I looked at wedding photos of in the 70s when my mom and dad went to a wedding, and they went to they had friends. It was like all these black people there with them, like with different cultures. Everybody together, and it was natural. It wasn't like, oh my God,
Look at the original Saturday Night Live. Look at the way the original Saturday Night Live did jokes. Nobody got offended that they did something off color.
Exactly.
Remember when I think it was Elliot Gould was guesting on one of the earlier ones, and Richard Pryor was on there. They were doing a skit where Richard Pryor was going for a job, and he filled out a job application. And what they were doing is they were using that platform to make fun of racism.
Yep.
And they were, and
That's the
even
whole thing about Al Jolson too. Everybody thought that Al Jolson was being racist when he did the whole blackface. No. Al Jolson was doing
Archie Bunker did that too.
Make
and Carol O'Connor, he actually is not a conservative guy. No. He wasn't at the time. He was a very progressive liberal is what he would call himself. And I actually knew Carroll O'Connor to a certain degree because when he was shooting In the Heat of the Night in Atlanta, where I'm from, they were filming it in Covington, Georgia. And
did they?
Yeah, he and his wife
Oh.
lived in the neighborhood that my aunt lived in, like 3 houses down. And he came over, several times, handful of times when I was over there, and just hung out. Brought some wine over in celebration of my aunt marrying my uncle. He was like a friendly guy because my aunt worked for the city, so they knew each other that way. And he's like the nicest guy and like not a racist at all.
Right.
And like that skit I was talking about on Saturday Night Live, they were making a joke about racism, and Elliot Gould was reading something from his end, and then Richard Pryor was sitting there. He started to get more and more triggered, like it's the character he was playing, and he said, "I'm going to say a word. You say what comes to mind." And he started to like get racist. Elliot Gould.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, I've seen that skit.
Pryor started calling him a honky, and then he said "nigger" to Richard Pryor, and he's like "honky, honky." it was a funny thing, and that's getting back to the whole full circle thing of the SJW issue. We can't laugh at things anymore. It's like people are pressured, even if they are in on the joke and they understand that it's just a joke. There's a contingent of people, largely the SJWs, they don't understand the concept of humor. And Harlan and a lot of people, even Richard Pryor, they used the platform of comedy to expose how ludicrous racism really is.
The funny thing is, from the spinoff of Archie Bunker, you got the Jeffersons.
Yep.
And George Jefferson was like a racist. You're and nobody has a problem with that at all. That's on TV.
And Good Times was a spinoff also.
Yeah.
And they were tackling issues that were going on in the inner city and the black culture at the time with Good Times and stuff. And it's good because it was exposing people.
Chico and the Man.
What's happening?
Yeah, it was exposing issues that were going on in these particular sorts of like cultures and trying to use that platform of comedy to let everyone know, hey, we really all are similar. We deal with family members that are assholes sometimes, or
what was the show? White Shadow. They had the white coach.
Yeah, that was
players.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I think
White Shadow.
And then somewhere along the line, it's become that way. I mean, it's a societal reflection. And I'm not like being one of these people that's pining away for the good old days, because we've always had issues going on through the decades. But it seems like now everything's so cynical and everything's so
whine and cry about a statue, and then the Congress people are gesturing to remove the statue rather than deal with the problem.
We were told
that nobody has a pair of balls and say, no, we're not removing the statue.
Some thicker skin, shut the hell up, and we would have slapped the shit out of them due to how stupid they were being.
Nobody's having the balls to say no and leaving the statue up. They're all catering to anything that people want now.
Because nobody wants to.
They want to get reelected. They want to get reelected. They don't want to be the person that went against people.
Well, the thing is that regular folks get shouted down and drowned out when they're like, "Hey guys, settle down." This is like they think that there's an issue with using comedy as a platform to expose the true ugliness of racism and how silly it is to just to have these concepts of these cliches that are like just such a joke that. How can you not laugh at them? Like, I mean, like they talk about black people and eating watermelon. It's such a cliche joke. I love fucking eating watermelon, I'm a white guy. But
Jay-Z did it on his new album.
Yeah.
He made fun of his own people.
But that's okay.
Remember that part? I mean, like, they showed the eating the watermelon. It was like ridiculous.
But when we talk about freedom of speech, up in Britain they are. I don't know if they're still trying to pass this law. It's a law that is gonna pretty much ban anything that could be found offensive in comedy. I forgot what the law is called.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Well, yeah, it's by that.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's still going up or what's happening with this law, but it is a really, really shitty law
And who's
that they finna pass.
and who's backing that? The SJWs. Those
Yeah.
people.
Probably.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a lot of people that are just outraged, and they can't tell you why they are. They're mad, and they're out there. They're triggered, and they want to have shit to rebel against.
I don't understand how these people don't work. Like they're out there every day with signs. Like, how do they pay their mortgage? How do they pay their bills? I mean, yeah, they're getting paid to do that, obviously, because I don't have time to do that.
I don't neither. I can't. I mean, I don't have the energy or the time to invest.
If I stand around too much at work, I go nuts. That's why I go do. That's why
I can't even sit down long periods of time, like a job I told you about. Can't do it.
Well, look how angry these alleged tolerant people are. I mean, they're vile. I mean, if you look at a lot of these people, like their body language and the way that what they're saying and their facial expressions, and it's like they're just like they're so angry. People are just so angry out there about shit.
They're very. I mean, the women are out there. They're like, we demand that this role be ours, and it's like, you know, we are taking away. What are you talking about? Women have been voting for how many fucking decades? When was women's rights in jeopardy in the past fucking 40 years? Like, seriously, I don't fucking get it. Like, nobody's going to lose their rights.
Yeah.
But they're going overboard now. It's getting... And I got to tell you, I hope the Emmys had the worst ratings in history. MTV had the worst ratings in history, all bashing a political party, right? Marvel Comics got books canceled, okay, because of the SJW agenda. I hope they see it as a business and say, you know what?
Yeah.
This shit doesn't sell anymore. We need to stop it. We need to end these things that are going to cancel us.
Half the time, I think people are just wanting to be part of a movement so they can say they were part of a movement.
Exactly.
They honestly don't believe in this shit they're pushing. They just
you're going to make a name for yourself because you're going to stand in somebody's car and break somebody's windows. And you're going to be on TV doing it.
But of
like,
course,
that's nice.
They're the victims. That's just it. The ones who caused the
victims
destruction.
Of what?
They're the victims because
they're the victims with their new sneakers, their new outfits, their Apple Watch, their iPhone. I mean, they're reporting all these things that people didn't have in the past.
Since the freaking 80s.
And they're the victims.
Works as good as then. You don't see me going out buying them damn watch.
I just don't feel. I don't feel that, you know, the agenda. I think this is the thing with all of this. I don't feel like they should be imposing their views on people through television. I mean, back in the day, you know, there was ways to talk about, you know, hard-hitting discussions. Like you had these, how they handled it back in the day was with a certain type of, you know, a certain type of sensitivity to it that I appreciate. I mean, they talked about racism, they talked about homelessness, drugs, everything back in the day. I mean, you could tell that you could push agendas that way, and it still doesn't take away from the enjoyment or escapism or stuff like that. And that's, but especially with DW right now. I mean, okay, it wasn't necessary for this to happen. I mean, could we just, you know, had an agenda, you know, ease his way in without overtaking it, doing a radical change?
We're part of a 24/7 society now. If you think about, we're always connected to the internet some way, shape, and form.
Where people are going to get pissed off. It's going to be where maybe you got pissed once a week.
No one has ever taken a break.
Right. You're pissed like every hour on the hour.
It's always pushed 20, because this is why we were able to discuss things in the past. We were able to step back, shut the TV off, shut the radio off. Think. And
you'll go on Facebook.
It's coming at us 24/7. Nobody has a chance to really step back and go, you know, that's the wrong side of saying things.
You'll go on Facebook and you'll see different things, and you'll see somebody abusing puppies, and you're like, fuck, and you get mad. And then the next thing you go, it's a super happy fucking thing. Your emotions are all over the fucking place, in the span of fucking 15 minutes.
That's why that's why I deleted my Facebook account. Well, I didn't delete it. I took everything off. I got rid of everyone on it and everything because I was finding I was part of the problem, honestly, and I'll admit that too. You get involved emotionally with things that are going on, and although I was I wasn't on there like trashing people, but I was on there being part of that where you're like I was doing it in a joking way, talking about politics and stuff like that. But then you realize it's like Facebook we've become where like the news prompts everyone and kind of stokes them up and gets them riled up about stuff. And then they go and they go onto Facebook, which is largely a very egocentric sort of idea. I'm there and show everyone how they're wrong and I'm right about this thing and all this. And it's become like it is in the real world, except you don't have that interpersonal connection where you're able to like sit down and have coffee and chat with somebody.
Right.
It's
and people block you and people
instead of being this.
But there's too much of a way to communicate. Because again, people cannot turn this off. You could not if Facebook went down for a week, people would be jumping off fucking buildings and shit. People would have a fucking heart attack. They wouldn't know because Facebook is the news. It's like your fucking heart monitor. I mean, you could fucking do anything with that shit, and people are too addicted to it.
But as far as that go, what the problem is, right? Is because back in the day, stuff went off at midnight. You didn't have the 24 news cycle. You didn't have any of that. Exactly. You could digest what you saw today, and you didn't have.
People got more sleep.
Exactly, because it went off. You didn't have 24-hour TV. It just went sign off, American flag. Hey, I'm gone. We going to bed.
You wanted to get the newspaper. You had to wait for it to be printed.
Exactly.
With the magazines, you had to wait for Starlog magazine or Cinescape or Bangora or whatever. Electronic Gaming Monthly, whatever.
And you know what?
Look at the time before TV. Our parents and grandparents had the radio.
Yeah. And
you had to wait till that stuff was printed or wait to.
And look at how all this is tied in too, because like the media is largely to blame because it's become like Entertainment Tonight. It's not really a news outlet, and they most of their ads. If you watch like MSNBC or CNN or Fox, they're all pharmaceutical ads, and it's like take this because you're having trouble sleeping, you can't sleep, or you've got upset digestive.
Everybody believes that they're sick because there's so many fucking explanations on there. Maybe I have fucking this. Maybe I have that.
But what they do is the pharmaceutical companies, they're the ones that are buying the ad time on these news networks. The news networks, a lot of these people, if they just shut the fucking phone and TV off and like relaxed, did whatever and then went to bed and they weren't going to sleep being like constantly triggered by what the latest breaking news is and all this stuff.
Yep.
Then they wake up and then the news is telling them, more garbage that they get anxious and stressed out about. Then they have to feel like, well, I'm suffering from something. I need to take one of these pills. So it's like a big.
But
that's why heart attacks are up like fucking 59% because fucking people just.
They pretty much turned anything out there as a disease, not an addiction. Because if they say it was an addiction, people would look at you going, you can change that.
Well, even more than that,
but if they turn it into a disease, then it's like, oh, it's not your fault. It's in your genes.
Well, even more than that, the reason why they do that, Scott, is because people qualify for getting assistance for things if they qualify something as a disease rather than an addiction. So therefore, companies make more money off of that. Yeah. And I'll tell you something, Joe, that before I forget it, the other night after we were talking about Star Trek, I saw something that might piss you off even more. Remember how they were making the Klingons, the Trump supporters and stuff?
Yeah.
And I watched something about Jason Isaacs, who's the new captain on Discovery, or one of the new captains. The one that was like trolling the fan base, saying, you're going to watch it.
I dare you not to watch it, right?
He said that they are completely going to disregard the legend status and what's going on with Kirk and Picard. So they're totally
wow.
And that was said. I went back and watched it to be sure that was what the quote was. And he actually said that they're totally discarding that. Like, you're going to be whatever came before with all of that. Star Trek started with Kirk's generation.
Yeah.
And even Picard with the Next Generation, and he admitted they're totally just throwing that out the window.
Oh, jeez. God dang, man.
I'm not watching that shit. I'm not watching
God.
Oh, and you know what they do in fucking episode 2 is Mirror Mirror, which they're going to be the first to do Mirror Mirror, I guess, because it's before Kirk.
Jeez.
Bullshit.
So this sounds like it's going to be worse than Enterprise, and I actually liked Enterprise in the 3rd and 4th season.
Yeah, Enterprise has some momentum there.
I'm not getting it. I'm not fucking getting it.
No, I'm not getting it either.
I'm not even going to watch it, to tell you the truth. First time in history, not watching it.
You must be a sexist because of the female captain.
You're a hater.
Actually, it's a male captain, and she's just a fucking. What is she? A first officer?
Well, yeah, but the Michelle Lee or Yo or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Michelle
she's supposed to croak, I guess.
Oh
yeah,
no!
I kind of thought that was going to be the case.
Well, the whole point is you got to think of it this way, right? And I guess the main character's name is Michael, and she's a female.
Yeah.
Sasha, that we know on Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Everybody that's on that fucking ship is going to get fucking killed. And she's going to want them going on the other ship, Discovery. But she causes the fucking war in the first place, supposedly. So they should blast her out of the fucking airlock, but the captain gives her a chance to fucking fix shit. But she's probably responsible for that whole fucking ship dying. Or whatever. And it's like, those characters that you think, oh my god, they suck. Yeah, they made that they suck because they're all going to die anyway, bro. That's the whole point. They're not going to spend time creating characters. They're going to make the shittiest character ever because they're going to die.
Yep.
That's what
to advance the storyline.
So they're going to the Trump supporter Klingons are going to be the enemies.
Right. Which they're saying we don't want any Republican fans to watch Star Trek. Well, fuck.
Well, then they're going to turn off their entire base because we've seen what happened.
They already renewed it for season 2. They're trying to be like fucking cool about it, like it's so popular. Nobody gives a fuck. I don't see anybody honestly, that shit's on Facebook constantly, right? Discovery, and I don't see any fucking comments or 1 or 2 comments. I don't see 30, 50, 80, 90 comments. I don't see like 1 million likes and all this shit. I don't see shit. There's nothing. It's dead. Fucking
nobody's willing to pay that fee to watch it.
Star Trek.
Oh, and they're bringing Harry Mudd, that character, on Discovery. So Kirk
fucking cares, really.
Kirk's crew weren't the ones that discovered Harry Mudd either, according to.
Jeez, man.
Sarah being a player because it's logical to cheat on women. That's like fucking.
Oh, he must be the Bill Clinton, but of course they're not going to mention that.
Pon far here, pon far there, and pon far everywhere, basically.
You know what's sad about that is that I could have sworn Star Trek started with CBS, right? Wasn't it first aired on CBS? Yeah. God, that's a sad lookout when you was the channel that actually premiered the first run episodes of Star Trek, and then come back and
the
have
whole
your
philosophy. How this is gonna be good. Oh, we're gonna see nudity. You're gonna see them having sex. You're going to see gay relationships in this. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, you can see that when you switch on HBO.
Yeah.
See, we don't need that. This is supposed to be escape. Escape. This is the thing that
Orville is phenomenal.
Yes.
Yes.
The Orville, if you didn't see it, Mike D, I love it. The Orville is top notch, man.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's how Star Trek should be written, because that's how well Orville is.
That shit's going to be taken off.
But you know what? What's sad about all of this is that the people that's born 2000 and after have no idea how to do the simplest of things. God forbid something happened that everything just goes haywire with no
Well, look what they're doing right now. As we're doing this cast, they're getting episodes ready for fucking Khan series. They're doing a fucking prequel. where Khan's
Why?
the ruler of the earth and whatever fucking shit, and it's it's horrible. It's not even Star Trek. It's like what Star Wars is doing. They're trying to do movies on Jabba the Hutt and everything else. And,
Is that what Nick Meyer's working on?
yeah, Khan's fucking in charge of everything.
Khan! Khan!
Yeah. How do you fucking do Khan without Kirk?
Khan.
How could you do Khan without Kirk? That's the most
Yeah.
boring shit I've ever seen.
I don't
That's what they're
understand what's going
That's what they're
on.
doing.
Is Khan going to be like some emo young, like 20-something? And
He's gonna be like a fucking king ruling the earth. And then they're gonna do like a coup, or they're gonna do like a military thing against him to overthrow him.
Because he was supposed to be created to do eugenics.
Right, but that's what he says. I was a king, a prince. I was ruling this, and I was.
Well, they did a conflict. They did a little continuity error
Yeah.
thing about a few months ago. I saw if Khan was actually from that particular race, he would have a beard. And by him not having so, they're actually not depicting him in the right way.
wasn't Khan supposed to be like Persian or something?
Yeah, and he was supposed to have from the region he's supposed to be in, the way he is, he was supposed to have like a beard, and by shaving it off, it was a sign of disrespect.
Well, the thing
So they're disrespecting the character by not having him depicted with a mustache and beard.
Yeah. That I saw a video the other night explaining, putting into words like a really good argument about the reason why the Star Trek film didn't work with Cumberbatch being Khan, because they said if you watch Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto, they were both playing Shatner and Nimoy playing Kirk and Spock, just younger versions.
Uh-huh.
But Cumberbatch was not playing Ricardo Montalban. He was a totally different, character. Totally different.
They shouldn't even have made him Khan. They should have made him something else.
Yeah. And everybody guessed who he was from the get-go.
Well, they lied to the fans.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's not Khan.
Yeah, was it John?
And that's when Orchie cursed out the fans and Simon Pegg cursed out the fans. And then nobody went to see Simon Pegg's movie and nobody went to see Orchie's movie. And that was the end of that. Threatening the fans, like bad-mouthing the fans. People don't like that shit. So.
Star Trek
All right, guys.
is like the best Star Trek thing.
Orville is great. Orville is great, and Galaxy Quest is going to get a series now. That's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Quark come back. I want to see that series come back.
Quark. Quark and Nog and Rom and all those people.
No, there was a series back in the 70s called Quark.
Oh, I thought you meant from DS9.
No.
The Ferengi.
With the Dabo tables.
Oh, man.
Oh, the gals.
All right, guys.
But one of the gals who was on DS9, she's going to be at the this Comic-Con that's coming up in October.
Which one?
With Gil Gerard and a few others.
Well, I mean, which actor are you talking about?
I got that thing right here somewhere.
Well, everybody, I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here anyway.
Out.
It's already
tired.
Yeah, Chase Masterson's gonna be there. And there it is, right there.
Oh, Gil Gerard, Buck Rogers.
Yeah.
And Catherine Hicks, I see, is going to be there.
Yeah. And this is going to be the thin Gil Gerard, not the
thin.
Yeah.
I enjoy being the cast with everyone. I'm finna go head out. Good night. Good night, everyone.
We're gonna get out of here too. So thank you guys. Take care. Bye for now.